السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى، والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى، خصوصا على خاتم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وأنصاره وعلينا معهم. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى عز وجل في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ليس عليكم جناح أن تبتغوا فضلا من ربكم فإذا أفضتم من عرفات فاذكروا الله عند المشعر الحرام واذكروه كما هداكم وإن كنتم من قبله لمن الضالين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about Hajj, and in Hajj, obviously people are there for months and months, and at times in those days, they were there for, it would take a year or a year and a half before they got back from Hajj. There was one man, he was going to Hajj from India, and he was taking a boat to go, and when he was about to catch his boat, he missed it. So now before they go for Hajj, in America, I don't know how the mahal is here, but back at home, you have the environment where people, before they go for Hajj, what do they do before Hajj? You have dawat, and you have this gift, and those flowers, and someone is bringing this, and giving you this hadiyah. So it's like Eid for them, they're going for Hajj, because you don't know if that person will come back. Anyway, they gave all the hadiyahs and the gifts. This man goes to get the ship, to get his ferry to go to Hajj. He arrives there too late, he misses his ferry. Now he thinks to himself that people gave so many gifts, and they gave so much wealth and so much. I can't just go back and say that my ferry has left. So he just waited and, spent a few months there. And when the time for the Hajjaj coming back came, he came back home. People in his village, small villages, one man goes to Hajj. It's not like big cities over here. They said, oh, mashallah, how was it? Oh, amazing, behtareen. They said, Aapko Hajar Aswad mila hai? And everyone was asking a question, did you get Hajar Aswad? Did you get Hajar Aswad? And he said, wo is sara hi nahi. He heard over and over again, did you get Hajar Aswad? Did you get Hajar Aswad? He understood, did Hazrat Aswad come? So he said, Hazrat Aswad is saal nahi hai. No, he didn't come this year. He wasn't there for Hajj. So, because it would take such a long time, people would do business, they would do trade. In Mina itself, Mina used to be a bazaar area. Mina was a total bazaar area. There would be little shops, and people would come, and they would have their poetry, musha'ara as well over there, and people would have their businesses. So can you make money while you are in ihram or hajj? Of course, Allah says, لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ. There's nothing wrong. أَن تَبْتَغُوا فَضْلًا مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. That you look for a bounty from your Allah. فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِندَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. On the 8th day of Dhul Hijjah, you go to Mina. In Mina, you pray 5 salat, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr of the next day, on the 9th of, what's that day called? The 9th of Dhul Hijjah? Yawmul Arafah. Good. MashaAllah. So the day is called Yawmul Arafah. The location is called Arafat. Two different things. The place is called, the day is called Yawmul Arafah. And the location is called Arafat. Very, very good. People usually say one of the newest bid'ahs of our time, of this era, especially Americans do some very strange bid'ahs. Very strange bid'ahs. One of our greatest bid'ah is following of Saudi for Eid al-Adha. I don't know where this started from, when this started, how. It's interesting too, is because I was on AMJA's website, American Muslim Jurist Association. I also happened to be the youngest person to ever present a paper for them as well. I was maybe 22, I think, 21, 22 when I presented a paper for them. Someone asked me the other day, I was in the UK in an interview, they asked me, how long did it take you to write that paper? Because they considered it really big, this and that. And I said, Wallahi, you should not have asked me that question. He said, why? I said, because I wrote that paper overnight. I said, I did not put the effort that you think I put it in. I said, I took 5, 6 students or 10 students with me to the library. I told them, grab me these books and open these pages on it. So they pulled out about 40 books. And I said, I looked through them, and overnight I wrote that paper. I said it wasn't something very grand or something. It was just an overnight job. But over there too, when they talk about Eid, they say that we don't have any dalil of Quran or Hadith, but because everyone else is doing it, we do it too. Wait, what? What do you mean? There's no dalil in Quran or Hadith, but everyone does it, so we do it too. What does that even mean? And people say, well, no, our Arafah has to be with the Arafah of the Haji. By Yawmul Arafah is only there for those who are in Makkah Mukarramah. Yawmul Arafah doesn't happen for you here in America. There is no special reward for you to do dua between sunrise and midday and sunset. There is no special reward or ajr. We don't follow Makkah in Laylatul Qadr. We don't follow them in Eid al-Fitr. We don't follow them in anything else. But when it comes to Hajj, Eid al-Adha, we follow. Why? Oh no, because the Hujjaj go there. Eid al-Adha was there before Hajj was fard. Eid al-Adha was fard in the early days of Islam in Madinatul Munawwara. Hajj became fard in 8th al-Hijjah. Is when Hajj became fard. 9th was the first Hajj with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, and 10th was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And never in the history of Islam did anyone ever ask, when did the Hujjaj, where are the Hujjaj? Because our Eid has to be connected with the Hujjaj. Think about it. For the past 14 centuries, it's impossible. It was impossible to do your Eid with the Hujjaj. But now, mashallah, us Americans are very advanced. We have our telescopes and this and that. No, we can tell. Mashallah, it's great. Too much knowledge and too much information is also a problem. Did Shaitan not make a mistake with too much logic and too much philosophy? Did he not apply his logic and philosophy, say, خَلَقْتَهُ خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ? You made me from fire and you made him from dirt. Remember one thing, as long as we stay on the path of the Salaf and the scholars of the past, the Sahaba and the Mashayikh of the past, we will stay on the straight path. When we take a detour and make our own road, we don't know where that road leads us. That is why, إِنَّكُمْ لَتَتَّبِعُنَّ سُنَنَ مَنْ كَانَ قَبْلَكُمْ. We will follow the paths of those before us. Either we will follow the good paths or the bad paths. Because there were people before us as well, the Yahud and the Nasara. What did they do? They altered the meanings. They changed the interpretation. No, you don't have to fast from sunrise to sunset. It's too hard. Sunset to sunrise. Yeah, look, if a wealthy person's child does something wrong, they're wealthy, they're very well known, they give donations to the masjid. How can we put their name? How can we say that the donations will stop? The donation to the synagogue will stop, to the church, but we don't say nothing to their family. In our ummah, the same thing happens. I'm not speaking about this masjid, I'm just speaking in general. You have the parking. Is it normal? Brother, there's no parking here, there's nothing here. But let a Maserati come in. Or a GTR. And, can I take a picture with it too? Brother, yes, I'll park anywhere. I'm sure people don't know. It's okay, brother. What do you mean? Why is he okay and the other one not okay? Why do we have two rules? And today we see our demeanor changes. Someone comes and says, this is mashallah, this wealthy man or this, and all of a sudden, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? We want to be their friends. And then when we see somebody on the street with a little hijab, what do we think to ourselves? Are they even Muslim or not? They're just here to beg. Don't scold the people who ask you. Someone told, that is unfortunately what our mentality is. One time, in Pakistan and India and back at home, Egypt and all these places, you have a culture of these beggars who make it a business. Right? That they ask everyone and everything. So Mufti Shafi, Ma'arif al-Quran, you asked me about Ma'arif al-Quran, the book that you're reading. Mufti Shafi Sahib was sitting in the car, and his son, Mufti Taqi, the one I told you the story of the one who was shot at. Father and son. Father is the Grand Mufti. The son is a great scholar, but at this time, obviously, father and son are together. A man came, one of those beggars, and they came and they asked him for some money. So he gave him some money. Mufti Shafi gave it to him. So this is a fiqh issue, right? Father and son both are muftis. Everyone sees things with their psychology. The moment a person walks in, the one who's used to selling shoes, whenever he sees anyone, the first thing he does is look at their feet. That's his aada. That's how his brain is triggered. That the moment I see someone, I look at their feet. When we're in the masjid, what's the first thing we look at? The moment we see someone, we try to classify them. Are they Indian, Pakistani, Punjabi, are they Lahori, Islamabad? From Islamabad, are they from this street or that street? We start defining it very particularly. Anyway, so the muftis, they see it, so they're going to perceive it. Why don't you guys get chairs comfortably? You sure? If you guys want to come closer, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to sit that far away. You're okay? Because I forget you guys are even here. This blocks the vision, and you're as thin as this. That's why I can't even see. They're special people. They're very close to me. I say that in public, but then in private, I hold them accountable. Because love is only in public. Right, Amin? So Mufti Shafi gave the money to him. When Mufti Shafi gave the money, obviously, as I said, everyone has their perception. The first thing the son said was that, and I'll translate this in English. The son says, Abu, aapne to ghair mustahiq ko diya. You gave money to someone who doesn't deserve it, who wasn't rightful. He wasn't supposed to get it. You know this is a business. Aapne ghair mustahiq ko diya. But the father is a father too, right? So the father looked at his son and he said, Beta, hum kab mustahiq the, jo ki Allah ne humko diya. Ek ghair mustahiq, dusre ghair mustahiq ko de raha hai. He says, my son, when were you and I worthy of getting Allah's compassion and Allah's love and affection to give us the wealth? When were we worthy that Allah gave it to us? One unworthy is giving to another unworthy person. One ineligible person is giving it to another ineligible person. Now think about it. I have money. I see somebody on the street. If I can give, I give. If I cannot give, may Allah make it easy for you, I go on. This is the quality of a believer. But the one who has diseases in the heart, what do? They don't give money. They give their good deeds. They say, oh, these people, they're just fakers. These people, they're just like this. How do you know who they are? How do you know what they are? We are not supposed to be judgmental. Wallahi, I met a man. Wallahi al-azim. One person, someone in their family passed away, so I was there to give condolences. And this one man, we began a conversation. And I said the story as well, Mufti Shafi Sahib's story. So he said to me, he said, brother, he said, I had a thriving business. I think he said Long John Silver's. He said, I had a thriving business. 3 businesses, doing very well. He said, and there was this one man that came to my business. He's like, and there's one store of mine, he's like, that didn't do that well. And I had another store that did exceptionally well. So store A didn't do that well. Store B did very well. He said one beggar came to store A. And he asked him for some money. Saw him. Came to the restaurant. We gave him some money. He said, it just so happened that the very same day, I was checking up on store B. So when I arrived in store B, he said, I saw the same beggar come. So I looked at him. And I said, did I just give you in my other store right now? And you're here again asking? He said, I don't want to see you again. Then I told him off. He said, this store of mine that was going very well, he said, within 6 months it finished. and I became bankrupt on this. That first door is still running. He said, can I tell myself that it's because I scolded this person that was muhtaj? One time, a story happened in Afghanistan. There was a woman with some children, and she came into a town, and she knocked on a door. It was the governor's door. He opened the door, and she says, "Oh, Governor, I don't have a place to stay at nighttime, and our family is needy, and we don't want to, I don't want to ask anybody. You're the governor, that's why I'm asking you, but we are from the family of the Prophet ﷺ, obviously descendants. Right? But we are Sayyid, we are from the Prophet ﷺ's family. There are three qualities of a Sayyid. Every Sayyid has three qualities. Number one, they're beautiful. Allah has given them a unique beauty because the beauty of Rasulullah ﷺ flows through them. Number two, they're brave. The Prophet ﷺ's family doesn't give birth to cowards. And number three, they're generous. It is not befitting for the children of the Prophet ﷺ to be miserly and to be stingy. So she says we are Sayyid. And we don't want to go around asking other people and Governor, listen. He said, do you have any proof that you're Sayyid? She said, proof? What do you mean, do I have any proof? I was saying, there's no such thing as no DNA tests at that time. She quietly walked away. That night, the man went to sleep. And in his dream, he saw the Prophet ﷺ. And there was a huge palace, beautiful palace. One cement of silver, the top cement of gold, the lining in between of musk, domes of pearls, minarets of diamonds, the ground of camphor. And he looked at it and he said, Ya Rasulullah, whose palace is this? And the Prophet ﷺ said, this palace is for any ummati of mine. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm an ummati of yours. And he said, do you have any proof? So the next day the man got up. And he started running in the streets and saying, did anyone see where that family went? Did anyone see where that family went? And one person said, yeah, they went into that home right there. Right after you closed the door, this other person came and approached them. So he went banging on the door. The man opens the door. He said, my brother, I need that family. I need that family. I need to bring them over to my house. He said, I can't. He said, they're guests at my place. He said, my brother, I need it. I need to have this family. And the man responded, he said, brother, I can't give you that house. He said, brother, I can't give you that house, brother. Our job is to give. Now, if there's corruption and someone is using it for haram and harm, yes, that's different. But our general psychology is different. Our general psychology is judging of people. You know, I was at a masjid. And I was aware, because I knew the people there, I was aware of how much zakat they had. And they had incredible amount of zakat. And one of the security guards, he was muhtaj, he was in need. Family was this and that. So, whenever he would see me, he would always tell me that, can you tell them, please help me with the zakat, this and that. And now, because I would go speak and leave, I never really I said, look brother, this is the person, talk to them and they'll help you out. So this man over and over again, and then I said, did you have all your documents? He said, I have all these documents, and he showed me everything, proof and evidence, and this bank statement and that. I said, I will go talk to them myself. So I went to the people responsible, and I said to them, I said, look, this man, I know him for a good amount of months now, and he's muhtaj, and he needs zakat, and you have zakat. You know what their response to me was? Mufti Sahib, he just did his daughter's wedding. How can he have zakat? How can he be eligible? Isn't it his daughter's wedding? And I said, fear Allah, his daughter's wedding is not like your daughter's wedding. I said, what was his daughter's wedding? The imam and two people in a masjid and some bait and a dinner at a normal restaurant? I was like, that's what you have 3 times a week. I said, and this is what this man has once a year, once in a lifetime. He's taking few people with the little bit he has, and now you are judging him and saying that, oh, well, he got his wedding done. I said, there is no barakah, there is nothing. I was very disheartened. And so many people I see like this. They get turned away, they get the muhtaj. Our job, do due diligence. There shouldn't be abuse. But the culture of judgmental thing, I think, you know, the ajib thing is, you go to a church, you go to a synagogue, they embrace the same people. They embrace them. They go bring them tea, this and that. You know, yesterday the security guards, the police officers that are out there, they realize that I may have some sort of influence or something here, because the other day I came a little late, so I needed to park inside, and the parking was full. So the man got upset and yelled, and he said, I told you this. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I said, look, I have a reserved parking here, this and that. He's like, okay, go. So now I pulled the car in and someone took my reserved parking. So then I'm driving by, he probably thinks I'm a liar by this time. So this guy with the big beard, he walked in telling me he had a reserved parking, comes in there, he's just looking for parking. So then I went back and I explained to them, look, no, ittaqu mawadi' at-tuhm. Avoid those areas that tuhmat will be done on you or accusations will be done on you. Avoid it. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't be texting someone and then someone says, who are you talking to? No, just a friend. Why at 1 a.m. in the morning? What friendship is this? You don't even talk to me at 1 a.m. in the morning. And who is this? Why are you talking to me? It's just for work. What kind of work is this? Ittaqu mawadi' at-tuhm. Abstain from it. So I went and I told her. He probably understood. So I was walking down and I had some youth with me. So I asked one of the youth. We were in Frisco together, and the Frisco security guard is a very nice person as well. Very good brother. Imad, may Allah forgive his parents. He always, whenever he would see me, he would say, do dua for my parents. Both of his parents passed away very close to each other. One passed away on a train station, and the other, through sicknesses. So I went to the youngster. He's very close to me, and I said to him, how is the security guard doing? He said, alhamdulillah, he's doing good. I said, what's his name? He said, I don't know. I said, how do you not know the man's name who protects your life? I said, how do you not know his name? And then we were walking, and the non-Muslims that were there, I said, watch this. I said, all you have to do is this. I said, hello. I said, sir, what's your name? And the man said his name. And I said, look. I was like, this is simple. That's it. And then he went and he asked that. So that kid responded to me when I said, you don't know the security guard. He said, well, the security guard doesn't know my name. I was like, your name's not that important for the security guard to know. But then when he said hi to this police officer, immediately that police officer said, what's your name? He said, my name is so-and-so. And then he started, and I explained to him, I said, it takes 1 second. So while we were coming back, you know what the security guards, the police officer told me there? He said, hey man, that tea that you guys drink, that's a really good tea. And I said, maybe someone grabbed a cup of chai. And they said, hum to peete, let's give them 1 cup. When you're coming from home, bring something, give to them. Try not to give prepared food. Why? Is because obviously people feel uncomfortable getting a prepared food from anyone. If you want, bring something kind, bring chocolate box, give a gift card. Small things. These people, they will become Muslim through your akhlaq. That is it. This is akhlaq and muhabba. And I'll give you an example. You shouldn't praise someone in front of their face, but I'll give you an example. My mother came last night, and she came back. I said, "Did you meet anyone?" She was like, "I met one sister. She gave me a lot of hug and muhabba." I said, "That's Sister Radia." And she said, "Yes, you're right. That's the name." And I said, "I know." I said, "If you're gonna get that reception," I said, "I know where it's coming from too." MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I had mentioned to her. So when a person has an akhlaq, they have a reputation for it. And we need that in our community. That a person who's not in the community, shouldn't be that Mufti Wasim is Imam, no, but anybody should walk into this community and feel loved and muhabba. It's a very simple Assalamu alaikum. It's a very simple, how are you? How are the kids? That's it. Stop by one day and just give them a cold drink. Give them a cold juice. Give them something. Give them a gift card. Tell them that, look, I've already paid $10 at Jimmy's for you. Please go there and take whatever burger you'd like. We've already made the payment there. It is waiting for whatever you would like. That's it. Small actions. Abdullah bin Mubarak, rahimahullah, he had a Jewish neighbor. And the man went into a financial difficulty, so he had to sell his home. And while he was selling his home, when you are in a financial difficulty and you have to get rid of your home, and say your home is worth $100,000, how much will you sell your home for? Less. This man is struggling, needs to get rid of the house, but he was selling the house for double the price. So everyone said, brother, I don't know if you know how to do economics, or you have any idea of how buying and selling works, but you're not going to get this house sold. He said, your house isn't even worth that. It's worth half of this. You're selling it for double the house's price. He said, my brother, I'm selling it for less the price. He said, what do you mean? He said, 100,000 is for my home. And the next 100,000 is for a neighbor like Abdullah bin Mubarak. He said, you can find a home like my home anywhere, but you can't find a neighbor like Abdullah bin Mubarak anywhere. So when Abdullah bin Mubarak heard of this, he bought the house. And then he gave the house as a gift to that Jewish man. And the Jewish man, Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah, is one of the greatest scholars of hadith. Greatest. He used to spend 1 year in teaching, 1 year in jihad, 1 year in teaching, 1 year in jihad. He used to go back and forth. So he used to be in the frontiers, and then he would go back. And in the advancing of the Islamic empire, he was very crucial inside there. So a great hadith scholar. Every hadith book goes to Abdullah bin Mubarak rahimahullah. He's that prolific. From the students of Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah alayhi. Remarkable. Abdullah bin Mubarak was a genius on his own capacity. So he bought it and then he gave it to him as a gift. The man didn't listen to Abdullah bin Mubarak's lectures. He didn't listen to his tafsir or just his akhlaq. And he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Aslamani khuluqu Abdullah ibn Mubarak. He said, you know what made me Muslim? The character of Abdullah made me Muslim. The character of Abdullah made me Muslim. Your akhlaq are the best thing that you have. It's the most priceless thing that you have. If you can teach your children akhlaq and character, you are giving them the greatest wealth any parent can give their children after iman. If you can give your children akhlaq and character. You know, when the Prophet ﷺ first came to Medina Munawwara, every person brought a gift to the Prophet ﷺ. What was Anas bin Malik's mom's name? Sulaim. Sulaim came And she didn't have much. She took her kid and she said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't have anything to give to you. I give you my son. 10-year-old boy. Brings it. Ya Rasulullah, aapka hai. This is yours. They say out of all the gifts given to the Prophet, that was the best gift, and that was the smartest gift. Because while giving her son to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet gets service, but her son gets free education. Over 90 kids. It was about him. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma barik lahu fi malihi wa fi waladihi. May Allah bless your wealth and your children. He said, 50 of my own kids I buried with my own hands. He had over 90 kids, and he lived a very long life. He was the last Sahabi to pass away in Basra. Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi saw him. Anas bin Malik. He says, خدمت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم 10 سنين. I served the Prophet for 10 years. فما قال لي شيء صنعته لما صنعته ولا لشيء تركته لما تركته. He never asked me for something that I did, why did you do it, or why didn't I do it? Never complained. وما مسست ديباجا ولا قزا ألين من كف رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I have touched silk and brocade and velvet. Never have I touched anything more softer than the palm of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So after he said this hadith, his student, Abu Talha, says, صافحنا بكف التي صافحت مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Shake our hands with the hand that shook the hands of Rasulullah. Then his student Abu Hurmuz, صافحنا بكف التي صافحت مع Anas ibn Malik. Shake our hands with the hands that shook the hands of Anas ibn Malik, which shook the hands of Rasulullah. And this went on and on and on until Shaykh Zakaria rahimahullah, he said it. And one man, Mufti Muhammad Ali from there, said, صافحنا بكف التي صافحت مع Shaykh Khalil Ahmad. Shake our hands with the hand that shook the hands of your teacher Shaykh Khalil Ahmad, who shook his teacher's hands all the way to Anas bin Malik to Rasulullah. Then Mufti Muhammad Ali was sitting, and there were 51 students from 13 countries, and this hadith was recited. And I said to him, on maybe 4 occasions I read this hadith to him, 4 or 5 times I've done hadith al-Musafaha with him. And we said, صافحنا بكف التي صافحت مع شيخ زكريا رحمه الله. Shake our hands with the hands that shook the hands of Shaykh Zakaria, who shook the hands of his teacher, all the way to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the handshake has a sanad to it as well, to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That each teacher to each student shook their hand all the way to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when she brought her kid, she gave him the best education. And with the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he got tarbiyah. He got tarbiyah and akhlaq and character through there. Teach your children tarbiyah and akhlaq and character. And you know what's the toughest thing? For parents to teach it. Leave them by me for a little bit. And then Ameen, do a little bit of Islam of them, right? Even my father at this age, in his mid-60s, he goes for his own Islam. Till this day. I was talking to him last night, he's in i'tikaf in Canada. And he was telling me, when we were over there, he's like, at the i'tikaf, we're not allowed to talk. Phones no, this no. Quietly do your ibadah. He's like, they tell you straight up, are you here for your Islam or not? Do you want your tarbiyah or not? 65-year-old man. 70, 75-year-old, 80-year-old people are coming and saying, we need our tarbiyah done. Abu Zoq or Shoq biho. That desire also has to be there, that I want to fix myself. I want to be chiseled. Diamonds cut diamonds. Humans make humans. People make people. They do tarbiyah of them and they chisel them until they become spectacular. Anyway. Where did the discussion stem from? Where to where to where to where to where to where? When I listen to these recordings, I'm like, I left so many stories that I didn't finish. But my job is to start the story. To make sure the story finishes is your job. Please, just stop me and say, well, you didn't finish this. You didn't finish this point. You didn't finish this. As I mentioned, for us, it's like a library. What Allah puts in the heart, it's said at that time. Whatever there is, the Darul Ulum or the madrasa system is very different than a university system. That's why if you study from someone who's been through a Islamic university, their style of discussion is very different. It's on point and it follows that track. Because obviously it's a very compartmentalized type of education. That okay, if you're doing hadith, then in this field of hadith you have learned to a certain degree. But in the Darul Ulum system, as I mentioned to you yesterday, how many hours was it? About 2,100 hours, 2,140 I believe was the number. 2,140. And then when we calculated your bachelor hours, that was how much you study in 4 years and how much you study in 1 year. So, akhlaq, character, you know our teachers, I can go on and speak the entire night about how many times I have been scolded and I have been told, do this, sit this way, talk this way, don't do this way. How many times? Till this day, my mother and father. First thing, my mother saw me last night. I was going for Tarawih. First thing she said, iron your clothes. And I said, Mom, right now it's almost at dark and I can't. I said, okay. But I know my mom has a very sweet way of saying things. You'll see her. She's a very sweet lady. Yeah, she's a very, very sweet lady, and I've learned a lot from her. Anyway. فإذا أفضتم من عرفات فاذكروا الله عند المشعر الحرام. When you are done with Arafat, Arafat is called Arafat because of the Arabic word Arafa يعرف عرفانا. Arafah means to recognize someone. It is either called Arafat because the first reason is that Adam alayhi salam recognized Hawa at Arafat. Adam landed in Sri Lanka and Hawa alayhi salam landed in Jeddah. Jeddah is called Jeddah because Jeddah means grandmother, and Hawa landed in Jeddah. After many years, and the riwayat differ, Hawa alayhi salam, she ended up in Arafat, and Adam alayhi salam ended up in Arafat, and they both recognized each other. That is why Arafat is called Arafat. That's the first opinion. The second opinion is that Arafat is called Arafat because Arafat, hunaka Arafa Adam Rabbahu. Adam recognized his Allah at that moment when he said, رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَّمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. The third opinion, Arafat is called Arafat because that is the place where Allah tells the Malaika that recognize these servants. Have they arrived? Who has come? They have come. Let them know that they are all forgiven. The second one was Adam alayhi salam unrecognized as Allah there when he did his tawbah at Jabal al-Rahmah. You've seen Jabal al-Rahmah, right? That mountain with the little area. رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَّمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. If I say something fast, please do stop me and just ask me. The third reason was, what was the third reason I said? That's where Allah tells the Malaika to recognize the believers and to realize that they are all forgiven. Number 4, Arafat is called Arafat is because on the day of judgment, we will recognize our deeds on that day. Number 5, Arafat is called Arafat is because we will recognize whether we are going to Jannah or Jahannam on that day. Number 6, Arafat is called Arafat is because we will meet and see people we lost in our lives in the dunya, and we will see them in the hereafter. So 6 are enough. فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. So after Arafat, in Arafat, you go to Arafat on the 9th day of the Hijjah. You pray 2 salahs there, Dhuhr and Asr. After praying Asr, once the sun sets, you don't pray Maghrib, you head over to where? Muzdalifah. So if you were to geographically understand how it is, this is Makkah, okay? Adjacent to Makkah, borders touching is Mina. Adjacent to Mina, borders touching is Muzdalifah. And Arafat is all the way here. Arafat is further. So from Makkah you go to Mina, from Mina you go to Arafat, from Arafat you go to Muzdalifah, from Muzdalifah you go back to Mina for 3 days. So you start in Makkah, you go to Mina, and you spend 5 prayers here, then you go all the way to Arafat. When I say all the way, it's only like a 15-minute train ride, or like a 10-minute train ride. You pray Dhuhr and Asr here, and then you go to Muzdalifah, and then from Muzdalifah you go to Mina. Following? Yes? So Mash'ar al-Haram is a place in Muzdalifah. It's a place where they would light a fire in Muzdalifah. So it is sunnah to go and spend time there. Allah says, فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ. When you're done with Arafat, don't stop there. What do? Ramadan is done, then we start remembering Allah. Allah says, فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُم مِّنْ عَرَفَاتٍ. Arafat is done. Al-Hajj wa Arafah. The Prophet ﷺ said, Hajj is Arafat. Hajj is the day of Arafah. You're a Haji now. But Allah says, no, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ. Don't stop there, continue. عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ. I was reading a advice of Mawlana Thani rahmatullah alayhi yesterday. My father had sent to me. And he was talking about adhkar. And he said something very profound. He said, each person should have a dhikr regiment. However, that dhikr regiment should not be so exhausting that a person gets tired and doesn't have consistency. And neither should the dhikr regiment be so small that the person doesn't realize that he even did dhikr. He says, because if he realizes that he's doing dhikr, the effort and the effect and the weight of it will translate into positive good deeds for him, and he will do good actions if he feels his dhikr. However, if the dhikr gets exhaustive and it's long and he doesn't have consistency, he won't have barakah, because barakah comes with consistency. There's a saying in Arabic, al-istiqama fawqa al-karama. What does karama mean? What's the karamat? Incredible action, like a miracle. If a Nabi does a miracle, it's called a mu'jiza. Assalamu alaikum. The sister from the day before, right? Yes. We were missing you yesterday. I didn't recognize you. The same one? No? This is not that sister, right? No? Oh. She's not here? I thought it was that same sister. I thought with the... Yeah. नहीं? यहाँ से तो So, I was just saying something before Yeah, so he says that al-istiqama fawqa al-karama, right? So karama is, if a prophet does a miraculous action, it's called a mu'jiza. If a normal human does it, it's called a karamat. I'll give you an example. Musa alayhi salam split the sea. What is this called? Mu'jiza. Mu'jiza comes from the Arabic word i'jaz. I'jaz means an impossible feat, or it means where others are incapable of doing it. No one can do it besides this person. I'jaz, ajiz kar diya unko. No one else can do it. Humble them. Karamat means it's an honor from Allah. So 3 types of people can do something extraordinary. A prophet, a righteous person, and an irreligious person. 3 types of people. A prophet. For example, Musa alayhi salam splits the sea. This is called a mu'jiza. If a pious person does a miracle, this is called a karamat. As Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we believe, it is our aqidah, karamatul awliya'i haqqun, that those who are close to Allah at times can do extraordinary feats. This doesn't mean that just because you're close to Allah, you will end up doing it, and it's a sign. And neither does it mean that if someone does an extraordinary action, they are much closer to Allah than someone else. No. It doesn't, it's karam. This is Allah's favor on someone. It doesn't distinguish their closeness to Allah or something. Does anyone know of an example of a normal human doing an extraordinary act from Quran or Hadith? Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani, okay. Fun fact, a lot of karamat are made up. Right? People, they say the sheikh doesn't fly, but his students put wings on him. Right? It's people make up stories and things. But Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani is the person after the Sahaba and stuff, or even I think through the Sahaba, that whose karamat are the mostly authentically narrated to us. Not only that they have a lot, but he has the most authentic narrations to us of his karamat. Now a lot of them are made up, a lot of them are, but there's a good portion that are not, which still eclipses the number of the karamat of others mashayikh. It just so happens like that. But I'm talking about something from Quran and Hadith. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani is not mentioned in the Quran or Hadith. किसके बारे में? Quran में? नहीं. I'm saying in Quran and Hadith, where someone who is not a prophet did an extraordinary action. You all know the story. Surah Kahf. Good. Who is Surah Kahf? Khidr. When we get to Surah Kahf, I'll talk to you about Khidr, because there are three opinions about Khidr. Number one, he was a prophet. Number two, what's the second opinion? He's a wali of Allah. And what's the third opinion? That he was an angel. And my opinion is that Khidr was an angel. But at that time we'll discuss it. And whenever I say my opinion, I generally mean this is the opinion of scholars that I find more appealing. It doesn't mean that that is my specific opinion or something. Anywhere. So now, but the most famous karamat that you know about is the karamat of Maryam alayhi salam. When Yahya alayhi salam said, "Anna laki hada," how do you have food here? قالت هو من عند الله. This is from Allah. Allah mentions this karamat in the Quran. Allah mentions the Ashab al-Ukhdud, the mother whose child spoke while he was an infant, the baby at the time of Yusuf alayhi salam that spoke. These are all karamat. So if a prophet does it, called mu'jiza. If a righteous man does it, it's called karamat. Number three, if an irreligious person does something like Chris Angel or one of these people, this is called istidraj. Istidraj, which means that this is manipulation and magic, and this is not something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah in some other discussion we will do how are they able to do these actions and how can they cut themselves and not feel the pain and all of that some other time. It's not really, and it's not allowed as well. It's not permissible. So now the Arabic saying is al-istiqama fawqa al-karama. What does istiqama mean? Consistency, steadfastness. So the Arabic saying is that being steadfast is better than performing karamat. This is a very deep saying. And I'll tell you why. Let me break it down. A person who does the karama, imagine you walk outside and may Allah protect everyone. You walk outside and a big stone was falling from the top. But you see all of a sudden that stone comes before you and it cracks and nothing falls on you. It says, wow, mashallah. And everyone will come to you for dua. How many times did you do that in your life? Once. It doesn't happen all the time. But the one who's sitting in the first saf, 20 minutes before salah, with Quran in their hand, and they're sitting there and they're reading, and maybe they come and they just read 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but they do it every day. That is more difficult than one time avoiding a rock. Doing something great one time is always easy. 27th night, the whole night, puri raat pada. Whole night we were in Salat al-Tasbih. We did so many, mashallah. I did Salat al-Tasbih and in my hand there were tasbihs too. Multiple. But that's one night. What's better is the one who does it consistently. There's more barakah in there. So with dhikr, the dhikr regimen you should have is a dhikr regimen you feel the pinch, but not too much. And then you grow it. So I'll give you a dhikr regimen to start off with, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Every day when you wake up in the morning and when you go to sleep at night time, when your head is on its bed, before touching the phone and after leaving the phone, these are the azkar you should do. 100 times La ilaha illallah, 100 times Astaghfirullah, 1 tasbih Fatimi, that's 33 Subhanallah, 33 Alhamdulillah, 34 Allahu Akbar, and 100 Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and 100 Astaghfirullah. La ilaha illallah, Astaghfirullah. 100, what did I say? 1932, King Abdul Aziz took the throne. He passed away, 1950, I think? And for the past 69 years, his children are the leaders. It hasn't gone to his grandchildren yet. In 70 years, over 90 kids the man had. And the Saudi state tried to establish itself 2 times before that. One time in 1800, and one time in, I think, 1830 or something. And then the next time in 1930, 100 years later, approximately 1932. September 1932. 3 times they tried. First time with Muhammad bin Abdullah. Al-Najdi in 1744. He was born in 1744, and he had aligned with Ali Saud, and that's a whole historical thing. But the point is that it was just remarkable that one man invested in a family that, ajib, till this day, their family members are reigning and ruling. Invest in a family. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to tell them. Because they would say it in a boastful, vain, condescending manner, which isn't right. You're right about that. So, Jarir and Farazdaq, in their own capacity, this was the mahol of Mina. You would come there, you know how the kids have rap battles? You would have poetry battles. And you know how they say jokes like your mom is like this, your dad's like this? That's how they would do it back in the day. These are like centuries old jokes. Your mother is like this, your father is like this, and then they would have these debates. Yes, they're not appropriate. That's why Allah is saying, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَذِكْرِكُمْ آبَاءَكُمْ. The way you remember your forefathers. You know how you are always debating and talking? Remember Allah that way. أَوْ أَشَدَّ ذِكْرًا. No, remember Allah in a more intense manner. Because there are some people whose parents haven't done anything. That's remarkable. So he says, remember them more than even remember your own parents. Every person when they go to Hajj, they do dua for themselves. Then whom? Parents. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also reminding you that just the way you remember your parents, even more remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. Ayah number 200, Surah Baqarah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and there are some people who say, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا. Oh my Allah, give us in the dunya, وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. And He has no portion in the hereafter. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا. Salim bin Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhuma was doing tawaf around the Kaaba. He is the grandson of Umar bin al-Khattab, the son of Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhuma, and he is known as Ahadu Fuqaha al-Madina, one of the muftis of Medina. He was doing tawaf around the Kaaba. فَزَحَمَ النَّاسِ حَوْلَهُ. There was a huge group of people that were behind him. فَكَانَ خَلِيفَةُ الْوَقْتِ موجودا في ذلك المكان. The Khalifa was there. He saw a huge group of people. فَسَأَلَ مَنْ هَذَا الرَّجُلِ. He asked, who is this man that everyone is doing hato bacho around? And they said, هذا الرجل هذا سالم ibn Abdullah ibn Umar. This is the man himself, Salim bin Abdullah bin Umar. He said, the Mufti. He said, the Mufti. He said, oh. So the Khalifa came and he approached him. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. This story is worth being written in gold. He says, Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. I'm sure you know who I am. I'm the Khalifa. Imagine, where Asa Wasa double Pesai. Someone of that caliber comes and they say, the Khalifa, Hal turidu min shay? Is there anything you want? Is there anything you desire? I'm the Khalifa. You know my hotel room? I have to share it with 3 other people. Can I stay at your palace? My children need this stuff. We have a list we can ask someone. Find someone who can do something for us. That's the first thing. Acha, aap kya karte? Doctor? What kind of doctor? You're a dentist. You know I needed a root canal. For the sake of Allah. It's fi sabilillah, not free sabilillah. It's fi sabilillah with F-E-E, fi. So he said, Hal turidu min shay? Do you want anything? Khalifa asked me. What would you respond if the Khalifa came to you? The most powerful man at that moment in the world. No empire had more strength than the Muslim empire at that moment. And he comes and he asks Banu Abbas, Banu Umayyah. What was it, Banu Abbas at that time? He came and he says that. And I want everyone to think of the answer that they would say. Salim bin Abdullah bin Umar looks at him. Left looks at the Kaaba. And he says, Afi baytillah ila ghayrillah. Afi baytillah, in the house of Allah, ila ghayrillah. You want me to ask someone other than Allah in the house of Allah? Stands outside, waits outside. When he comes out, he says, Sheikh, we're not in the haram anymore. We're not in the haram anymore. So, can I get you anything? Kick the dunya and the dunya will fall on your feet. At the time, rahmatullahi, someone came to him and they brought him some money, and he said, no. He said, I have a rule that those who come and they come to study, I don't take anything from them, because then I can't do their tarbiyah. I feel kind of conflicted. He forced, he didn't listen. Later on, when he was leaving, he left the money inside the sheikh's shoes and he walked away. So when he went to put his foot inside, he felt the money. And he said, Dekho, hamal dunya ko laat marte, Allah ta'ala dunya ko juton mein dalte. He said, we kick the dunya away and Allah drops the dunya in our feet. One time kick it. Just one time kick this dunya. We run after it. Just one time kick it. And wallahi will fall in your feet. But then you won't want it. He said, Jab, afi baytillah ila ghayrillah. Afi baytillah ila ghayrillah. So then the Khalifa says, we're not in the haram anymore. So Shaykh, what do you want? He said, min umur ad-deen, aw min umur ad-dunya. He said, my brother, I want to clarify something. Are you talking about from matters of deen or the matters of dunya? He said, Shaykh, you are the scholar. What do you mean in the matters of deen? I'm the man of the dunya. So he says, the deen you have, I'm the man of the dunya. So you know what Salim responds? Wallahi ma sa'altu alladhi yamlikuhu qattu fakayfa as'alu alladhi la yamlikuhu. He said, Wallahi, I have never asked for the dunya from the one who owns the dunya. How can I ask dunya from the one who doesn't own the dunya? Grandson. Maybe Khalifa's grandson. Dunya. These kicked the dunya one time. Umar bin al-Khattab on his deathbed, he said, 6 people council, one of these 6 will become a Khalifa. My son Abdullah bin Umar cannot become the Khalifa. Yes, you can use him to mediate, but he can't be the Khalifa. The first thing, my kid can't be it. First thing we do is, mera bachcha. Masjid banayi to apne bachchon ke liye. Ye kare to apne bachchon ke liye. For our kids. Anyway. فمن الناس من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق. And there are some people who say, oh my Allah, give us in the dunya وما له في الآخرة من خلاق, and in the hereafter they have no portion. ومنهم من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And some of them say, oh Allah, give us in the dunya good and in the akhirah good, and save us from the fire of Jahannam. This is the dua you should be making. أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا والله سريع الحساب. They are from those who have a portion from what they have done for the sake of Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a swift reckoning and a quick reckoning and a quick hisab. واذكروا الله في أيام معدودات. Remember Allah in the specific days. What days are these? The days of Hajj. So the days of Hajj, on the 8th day, you are in Mina. 9th day, you are in Arafat. 10th day, you are in, 9th, you are in Muzdalifah. 10th day, 11th and 12th, you are back in Mina. You go and pelt the shaitan. The Prophet ﷺ stayed 2 days after the 10th of the Hijjah to pelt the shaitan. However, the 13th day, the Prophet ﷺ also stayed, but the 13th day is optional. So Allah says, فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. Whoever does 2 days and leaves, no sin. وَمَنْ تَأَخَّرَ فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. Whosoever does the 13th of the Hijjah, pelts and leaves, no sin. لِمَنِ اتَّقَى. For the one who has taqwa. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ. And fear Allah and know that you all will be raised towards Allah. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يُعْجِبُكَ قَوْلُهُ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَيُشْهِدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا فِي قَلْبِهِ وَهُوَ أَلَدُّ الْخِصَامِ. And Allah says, there are some people in this dunya, مَنْ يُعْجِبُكَ قَوْلُهُ. Their speech is very attractive. فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. In this life, their words and their style of speaking, oh, they have so many views and so many this and that, and there is a certain level of attraction. وَيُشْهِدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا فِي قَلْبِهِ. And he says, oh, my heart, I am such a good person, I'm righteous and this, and mashallah, they stand and they're talking about Allah and His Rasul, but unfortunately, there is no quality of that in their life. وَهُوَ أَلَدُّ الْخِصَامِ. However, he's very debating. A sign of a terrible scholar is the one who's always fighting and arguing. وَإِذَا تَوَلَّى سَعَى فِي الْأَرْضِ لِيُفْسِدَ فِيهَا وَيُهْلِكَ الْحَرْثَ وَالنَّسْلَ وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَسَادَ. And when he goes back, he strives on this dunya, and he spreads corruption, and he destroys the different gardens, and he destroys the different farms, and he ruins the different lineages, meaning the different families, and he corrupts people, and he brings disorder. Nasl can refer to the animal stock as well. وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَسَادَ. And Allah doesn't love fasad. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهَ أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ. If you are sinning and someone says, fear Allah, the believer stops immediately and says, my bad, I'm wrong. But the one who has nifaq in their heart and they have a bad heart, immediately they start debating you. No, but then, this sheikh said that, and on Google it says this and that. They start debating you. أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ فَحَسْبُهُ جَهَنَّمْ. their izzah and their honor and their arrogance comes because of the sin. Jahannam is enough for them. وَلَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادِ, and it is a terrible destination. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَن